This woman can walk, but she's begging doctors to paralyze her. But before we start, please take a moment to give this video a like, subscribe to Happy World, and hit the bell so you'll never miss these great stories. When we think of disabilities, we tend to think of them as unfortunate instances that serve as burden to the person who must live with them. However, what the majority of people experience isn't always the case. And one woman has found herself with a very strange, well, to us anyway, desire that's put her in pursuit of a disability, even though she is 100% healthy and active. Her name is Chloe Jennings White, and for all 58 of her years on Earth, she's carried with her a desire to live as a paralyzed human being. Her will is so strong on this matter that she's taken to living her life in a 100% unnecessary wheelchair, and is also in search of medical professionals who are willing to completely and irreversibly paralyze her. She resides in Salt Lake City, Utah, and for obvious reasons has not yet found a doctor who's willing to take the gift of walking and standing from an otherwise healthy woman. However, she's found a very costly procedure that would help her to attain her goal, but lacks the $22,500 required to turn her bizarre ambition into a reality. Initially, she wanted to live her life without legs altogether. As strange as that sounds, it's not entirely unheard of. In fact, she's found the will to be paralyzed so strong that on numerous occasions she's put herself in harm's way in hopes of succumbing to an accident or emerging paralyzed. It's a bit much for many people to even begin to understand. She explains her approach. "I ski extremely fast and aim for the most dangerous runs," she told the Daily Mail. "My friends and family can get a little worried about me skiing, as they know I ski very aggressively, and they know that in the back of my mind I actually want to get paralyzed." When she finally did get injured while skiing in Utah, she gained tremendous insight into her mental condition, which is known as body integrity identity disorder, which essentially means that the person suffering from it is having trouble accepting their functioning body and seeks a disability, one to match the way they perceive themselves mentally. She obsesses over wheelchairs and leg braces to indulge her mental state. Here she's pictured in a wheelchair that she uses even though she doesn't need to. Upon learning that her desire, which she knew to deviate from societal norms, was shared by other people, Chloe found some relief and support from like-minded people. "It was a huge relief," she says. "I wasn't a freak. There were hundreds of others like me." She's been able to diagnose herself and has taken a clinical approach to her dark desire, but that hasn't changed her mindset one bit. Despite understanding her condition, she hasn't wavered in her pursuit of paralysis. "I might never be able to afford it, but I know truly and deeply I won't regret it if I ever can," she said to the Daily Mail. "Something in my brain tells me my legs are not supposed to work. Having any sensation in them just feels wrong." That description is a very common one among those who suffer from BIID. They feel wrong, like their body isn't the way it's supposed to be. She's treated by a doctor named Mark Milan, who doesn't delude himself as to the stakes that these disorders present. He frames the issue this way: "The question I often ask, is it better to have somebody pretending to use a wheelchair or to commit suicide?" Short of inflicting harm on his patients, he is interested in a sort of half measure that could put their troubled souls at ease. One possibly could be to do some sort of nerve blocking so that the limb could not actually be used for a period of time, to let the patient test the reality of being physically disabled temporarily. It would give BIID sufferers a chance to change their minds if they wanted to. Chloe hasn't followed through on the expensive procedure, instead living in torment as she occupies a wheelchair she doesn't need. She doesn't expect sympathy, but hopes people will try to understand her bizarre issues before they judge her, as so many have.